So here is a few misconceptions that keep you stuck with OCD, specifically religious OCD. Hold on. 1, the thoughts are your thoughts. And you can control your thoughts. No, you cannot. You cannot control your thoughts. You can help it. You can control how you respond, but you cannot control your thoughts. 2, you're afraid that they're your thoughts. They mean something about you. That if you don't fix them, that you do believe that, you will believe that. And so you feel like you have to fight with them. But the irony here is it's a lose-lose battle, because the more you fight with them, the worse they get. 3rd misconception. If I don't respond to them, then God's going to be mad at me. And I have to respond to them to prove to God I don't want the thoughts. Hold on. I thought it was cute. It's cute. You have to respond or God's going to be mad at you about your thoughts. Guys, God knows. Here's the thing. You don't know, but He knows that they're not actually your thoughts. That they bother you, that you don't want them. He knows it. You don't. So there's this misconception that you think He's going to get mad at you. He's going to judge you. He's not going to forgive you if you don't fight with the thoughts. He knows you don't want them. He knows they're not your thoughts. He knows. You don't have to ask forgiveness for the thoughts that aren't your control. That's like that person that like no matter the situation, they're always going to say, I'm sorry. You know those people. You've probably been one of those people. Let's be honest. I'm one of those people, or I used to be one of those people, that would apologize even when it wasn't my job to apologize. And I thought that was noble. And it wasn't. Because what would happen is I'm taking responsibility for something that's not mine. And that means someone else that should be taking responsibility is not. And that's not really loving for them, because if you keep letting someone off the hook. What is that?
I don't know.
If you keep letting someone off the hook for something, they'll learn they can get away with it, and then they just continue to do it. So accountability is not bad. It's good. It doesn't feel good, but it is the most loving thing. Can you do it in an unloving way? Yes. But really, accountability is loving, right? So not taking responsibility. You're doing more harm than good when you take responsibility for things that are not your responsibility. So I say this to say, use a practical example of how it is with OCD. You're afraid, you might have meant it, it might have been yours, so you're going to ask forgiveness anyway. You're just going to be safe. You're being manipulated by fear. So this is the perception OCD causes for us. We have the fault, we freak out, we apologize or ask God, forgive us, please forgive me, I didn't mean that. And then the fear grows, and the thoughts keep coming, and we keep trying to fix the thoughts. And then you stay stuck in that for years. Years. The problem is the reality that you're in is not the right reality. You're in the wrong reality. The reality is you can't control your thoughts. You can control how you respond to the thoughts. And honestly, it's our response to the thoughts that actually feed the thoughts and keep them coming. We have to learn to disengage with the thoughts. God's not going to be, and I know the content of the thoughts feels very important. Sorry, I had to pause it for a second. I understand the content of the thoughts is really bad. It is really bad. So you're scared to leave it alone because you feel like if I don't fix it, if I don't respond, it means I agree with it, or I'm eventually going to believe it. That kind of thing. But that's a lie. And that's what's keeping you stuck, is you think the thoughts are yours and you can control them. You can't. it intentionally throws things at you that you care about to keep you engaged. So you have to realize you're being manipulated. In a way, you're being manipulated. You're being manipulated. So when you realize you're being manipulated, you stop engaging. Okay? God knows where the thoughts are coming from. And he's at some point in time, he's going to tell you to let it go. Let it go. Stop fighting and let him fix it. Because ultimately, like, again, we cannot control what comes to our mind. We can control how we respond to it. We need to relearn how to respond. And this is why understanding how OCD works is so important, and understanding that you have OCD. And this is probably the biggest hurdle to jump when it comes to OCD, because fear is going to keep you stuck. And it's really sad because ironically, a lot of times you choose to stay stuck in the fear that you know instead of leaning into the fear that you don't. And at some point in time, you're going to have to take the leap of faith that God knows and he's going to help you. A lot of people get really upset with the Lord because you don't take the thoughts from them. But there's just more at work here than that. And there's a lot that can be learned when you learn to lean on him and allow him to fight the battle for you. Because the moment you engage with OCD, you've already lost. And I know it's really hard. I'm not saying that it's not, because I understand. It's terrifying. But from someone who took the leap, it's 1,000% worth it. Okay? So, again, misconceptions. The thoughts are yours. If you don't argue with them, then God's going to be mad at you. If you don't argue with them, that means you agree with them, or you're going to agree with them, or they came from you. That you need to ask for forgiveness for these thoughts because they're so terrible. And none of that's true. And you won't see that until you get on the other side. So, anyway, hope that helps.